I felt that, on every level, from the local government all the way up, it was so sad to see. It was terrible. They knew the storm was coming for days. Buses sat in the downtown area of that city underwater that they could have been moving thousands of people out with. And to see now the waste from the top down, how they're showing the trailers that are sitting under mud in Arkansas is disgusting. It's such a waste. And I think that from every level, it was just mishandled.
Do you think that if there was a disaster, the government could get to you on time?
That's good. Hello?
I would like to think I would be able to get out and be safe. Would everybody on Long Island be? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't say.
I don't think you can really prepare for situations like that, but once something does happen, the effort is where you see if people care about you or the focus is put on
you. Which one?
You cannot save like 150,000 lives in a matter of seconds. So, the best that the government can do in a natural disaster like this is, to come to us as soon as possible, to give us aid as soon as possible, because nobody can predict a natural disaster.
No, I think the current government, in its reliance on private means and emphasis on private income and wealth accumulation, is really no longer in a position to adequately address the public needs of the nation. In other words, we're doing a relatively good job of addressing individual needs, but a relatively bad job of addressing collective societal needs. Ultimately, it's a little like education. If you think education's expensive, try ignorance. Well, if you think that civil preparedness and the amounts of money that we have to spend in order to guarantee the safety of our citizens, if you think that's expensive, well, try the alternative. The alternative is what you see in New Orleans. It's infinitely more expensive to clean up after a disaster than it is to prevent one.
I don't think the government could take care of us, no, probably not.
I think so.
Yeah, I think there would be enough time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things around here that help people out, so yeah, I think it would be okay.
I think here would be better than the people in New Orleans.
I'd like to think the New York government is more prepared than the Louisiana government.
The fact that New Orleans is below sea level, was a big factor.
Well, it's a natural disaster.
Not so soon. Disaster coming like just in second, but that is hard to coming so soon. But I think they try as soon they can best.
I think the United States has learned a big lesson from Katrina. I don't think they'll ever let it slip by again.
If we learn it, things may improve. If we don't, this will simply be a recipe for a series of incredible disasters that will occur in the relatively near future, particularly along shoreline sites because of the twin effects of rising sea level and the more energetic and vigorous storm conditions that have prevailed over the last several years. This is only the beginning of the difficulties, not the end.
Are you happy with the state of the economy?
Let me take a breath.
Oh, of course not.
No, I am not.
No.
Definitely
not. Nah.
I think it's all right.
Could be better.
I think the economy's good. I think it's strong. I think there's a lot of money around. All you got to do is look at this parking lot. There's more Mercedes-Benzes and Lexuses here than you can shake a stick at. So the money's got to be coming from someplace.
The Bush people claim that the boom in the economy is due to the tax cut, but in actuality, the tax cut gave 40% of the tax cut to 1% of the people.
I don't know about in the poor families, the poorest of the poor, but you happen to be interviewing me in a very wealthy neighborhood.
The number of homeless and poor people in this country has risen every year since George W. Bush took office.
It seems to be that whenever there's a Republican in the office, that the economy all of a sudden just plummet. It's like a trend or something. But when the Democrat come into office, then the economy starts booming.
Right now is no good. Before 9/11, everything is good. Too many jobs. After 9/11, I lose my job. That's why I start driving cab.
What was your job before 9/11?
I have job in milling company. I do machine setup, mechanic. And after that, I get problem. I start driving cab.
I think they're kidding themselves really by thinking that the economy is so great. I mean, they're going, oh, there's more jobs than ever. But in the meantime, GM's laying off 25,000 people. Obviously, it's not that good, but it's a good cover-up. I mean, we should have been actors really instead of politicians, I think.
It's an unstable economic environment because our corporations are trying to show a profit with, and at all stakes by downsizing, taking away people's pensions.
We have a good economy. The only thing that's bad is that our corporations are taking over everything. Big corporations.
I have a business, and of course, if people makes more money, then I'll get more business. And if the economy isn't good, then I'm screwed.
Many workers are underpaid.
Sales, I guess, goes up a lot. Like everything is increasing.
All kind of prices. Even clothing and, for kids. I have 2 kids at home. They go to the middle school, and one goes to the middle school and one goes to Gardner Manor School. And, the expenses, you have to think about all these things, and try to survive, with what you make.
Just about everything is overpriced.
It's everything. The cost of delivering produce to the market, the goods to us.
Even grocery, before 3 years you go take $20, you full cart get grocery. Right now you can get nothing in $20. Everything is so horrible and expensive.
It's tough. It's tough out here, but it has to do with what's going on overseas.
Cost of fighting this war, everything has gone haywire.
Money is being wasted on a senseless war.
The current economy is floundering on the heels of all this, the war.
I think the economy is doing well. It's doing better than the man on the street realizes. And when you look at our position in the world economy, competition out there, and the government is doing a whole lot of things behind the scenes. Some of it is not even telling us. Things like the controlling of inflation, when you look at the immigrant contribution. I'm immigrant now, I'm not everyone's immigrant in the United States, but I'm talking about, say, the undocumented immigrants that we hear so much about. We don't get the full story about that because of the contribution they're making to the economy. And one of the things they're doing to the economy, which nobody seems to realize, is that they're helping curtail and control inflation. And the government wants to do that. We want the government to do that, but we don't realize all the tools and instruments it's bringing into play to get this done.
Well, I think the current economy is all right, but it's suffering long term from the fact that we have huge federal deficits and we're not collecting enough tax revenues in order to offset necessary government expenses. Ultimately, it will lead to inflation. So the short run seems to be satisfactory, but long run we're going to see a distortion caused by the enormous federal deficits over the last few years.
No, it's ridiculous. The price of gas, like you say, home heating oil, and anything that oil is involved in, plastics, the cost of paint. I'm an artist. My paints have gone up almost double because it has to do with petroleum.
The price of heating oil and gasoline, has that affected you?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Terrible.
Yes, it does.
It does. It does in so many ways.
Yeah, very expensive, everything.
The way things are going, ain't nobody gonna be able to drive another 10 years from now.
Of course, it's affecting everybody. It's going up and up and up.
Not me, because I don't drive, but it affects my family because it's very expensive.
I say gas. That's it.
Not this year because I've been pregnant. We don't turn the heat on in the house ever.
I just think it's higher and higher. I mean, you just can't afford it.
I think it's horrible. It's out of control.
Yes, I'm a cab driver and I spend a lot of money on gasoline. And I'm not making enough money to replenish.
I drive not very often, but enough that I would think that the price of gas is just too much to handle.
The gas is pretty pricey.